Everyone witnessed it. A sharp, humiliating blow landed across her face, and yet no one stepped forward. The man who struck her wore a chest crowded with medals, and the woman he hit, she wasn't meant to respond. Before I tell you what happened next, drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from. I love seeing who's here with me. The crowd stood frozen on the dusty parade ground. The morning ceremony had just wrapped up. Soldiers remained in formation, brass instruments catching the sunlight. General Marcus held tall, decorated. The very image of authority had lost control. Beside him stood a young female officer, Corporal Dana Reeves. While handing over a report, she'd accidentally spilled a few drops of coffee onto his uniform. His elbows snapped out without warning. Cold, forceful swing meant to shame. Not seriously injured, but the crack of impact echoed like a gunshot. Dana stumbled back, clutching her cheek. Silence swallowed the yard. Fear and disbelief hung thick in the air. The general's voice cut through it. "Watch where you're going, Marine," he snapped. But when their eyes locked, something shifted. Dana didn't lower her gaze. She didn't recoil. She stood upright, calm, steady, unbroken despite the pain. Whispers traveled through the ranks. "That's Reeves," someone murmured. "From Kandahar," another added. "The one who pulled 3 men out under fire." The general's jaw tightened. He hadn't known. She'd transferred recently. No announcement, no ceremony, just another Marine assigned to logistics. But in the silence that followed, the truth surfaced. A captain stepped forward, voice restrained. Sir Corporal Reeves was awarded a Silver Star. She led Bravo 6 during the fall of Helmand. The general blinked. For a brief moment, his authority fractured like worn armor. Every eye was on him. Even the youngest recruits stood rigid, waiting to see what he'd do next. Dana didn't raise her voice. She didn't cry. "Permission to speak freely, sir," she said evenly. He hesitated. "Granted, you taught us that respect is earned through strength," she said, her cheek already beginning to bruise. "But real strength is knowing when not to use it." That was the turning point, the invisible shift that pulled every soul on the ground toward truth. The general opened his mouth to respond, but before he could speak, the base commander stepped forward. "That's enough, Corporal," he said. "Report to medical." The ceremony ended there, but the story didn't. By evening, word spread across the base like wildfire. No one spoke about medals or formations. They spoke about her, the woman who absorbed the blow and held her ground without striking back, alone in his quarters. The general stared at his reflection. 30 years of teaching obedience, and yet no one had ever taught him humility until that morning. Her words replayed again and again in his mind. Real strength is knowing when not to use it. 2 days later, a quiet knock sounded at Dana's door. When she opened it, the general stood. There, no medals, no escort, just a folded letter in his hand. His voice was heavy, but sincere. "I was wrong, Marine," he said. "You showed me something the battlefield never did." Handed her new orders of promotion and, beneath them, a handwritten note recognizing courage through restraint. Dana studied him for a moment. "Thank you, sir," she said, "but I didn't do it for rank." He nodded. "I know." The next morning, as she stepped out for inspection, the same soldiers who had witnessed her humiliation now stood at attention. One by one, they saluted not because of her rank, but because she had earned something far deeper. Respect, because strength isn't always the loudest voice in the room. Sometimes it's the calm presence when rage is expected. True power isn't measured by how hard you strike, but by how firmly you stand. And often, those who refuse to fight have already won their greatest battles. If this story resonated with you, share your thoughts below. And if you believe in courage that speaks softly but stands tall, make sure to subscribe. More untold stories are coming soon.